Today, the brand new Jurassic World Rebirth came out into cinemas, so I went out to see it, and I thought there is no better time than to rank all of the Jurassic Parks and Jurassic World's films against each other to find out which one truly is the best. We're going to be doing this in a tier list. If you want to join along at home, there'll be a link to the tier list down below in the description. There'll also be video chapters to each specific film if you want to see where my opinion of that specific film lands. As always, this is my own opinion. You definitely will have different opinions to me, and if you do have different opinions to me, let me know where you would rank each of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films down below in the comments. But without further ado, let's get straight on in with this. Starting off, we have to start at the beginning, of course, the original Jurassic Park. And this film had a lot to do. It had to introduce this entire franchise. Without this film, we wouldn't be sat here making this video today. And the reason why we have all these feature films is because this one was so successful. It was mind-blowing at the time to see live-action T-Rexes and live-action dinosaurs with humans on screen. It had never really been done before, and it was incredible to see, and it was so impressive at the time. Today's standards, it still holds up quite well, but obviously not to the same extent. But this tier list isn't ranking how great the films were at that specific moment. It's ranking how great they are compared to all of the future films right now. And for me personally, I really like this film, and you know, without watching it, I wouldn't have watched any of the other Jurassic Parks or Jurassic World films. But I think it's good that your first film is one of your weakest ones, because that way you can always keep on improving. If your first film was always the best, what's the point in creating a sequel? And I think that stands true with this franchise. I really love specific moments. Of course, the car scene in this is iconic. I love the just intro and the concept of Jurassic Park. That scene where Hammond does go, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," is absolutely iconic.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And I think there's some amazing and intense moments here, especially with the children, like Tim and Lex. It's really great, but I just don't think it holds up to the heights of the other films. And so I think it's, dare I say, I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Like, I think it's a great film, but compared to the other ones that are gonna appear on this tier list, I think it's C tier. You might disagree with me. In contrast, however, I think The Lost Worlds is a very good film. Dare I say, probably the best out of the original trilogy, if that's what we're going to call them, of the Jurassic Park films. The Lost World did something really interesting, which it took Malcolm, which is the character that I like the least out of the core main three who we had in the original films, but it added in some really great characters like Sarah, and added in huge amounts of stakes. The stakes had never been bigger, and I absolutely love that for The Lost World. We have that really intense scene, which is still intense to this day, of the bus slowly falling down the cliff and everyone trying to hold on and hang on. You've got the conflict of the other people on the island. I think having an island B, having a different island that isn't the original one of Jurassic Park, is a really interesting concept and a great way to expand the franchise. And I also think the ending to this film is brilliant, because we got to see a T-Rex not on the island, but instead in the city of New York. And I know in the future films that's just a general everyday occurrence, but at that moment and in that film, it's a huge thing, and I absolutely love how they portray it. I love the chase scene, I love the scene on the boat, it's brilliant, and I think it's such a big upgrade from the first Jurassic World. Do I think it's S tier? Probably not from today's standards, but at the time, definitely. I think it has dropped for me a little bit, so I'm going to put it in the A tier, but it is a brilliant film. In contrast, however, Jurassic Park III. Dare I say, definitely a step down from The Lost World. Whilst The Lost World had that huge amount of scope, this one just sort of took it back a bit. There were still loads of stakes and tension. We returned back to the same Lost World island. None of it really takes place in the real world, and it very much feels like the same sort of concept as the first one, which is let's explore this island and let's not get killed by dinosaurs. The kid in it is really good, and I think the family's intentions to try and save him is really well put together. I really like the scene with the flying dinosaurs when they're trying to jump from pillar to pillar, and it's really, really intense at the end. I think there's some great action scenes in this one, and I think the ideas of the raptors that then got used pretty much throughout all of the Jurassic World films is a really interesting idea, and I think that little gimmick of the raptor calling bone that they then use at the very end that was dug up from the beginning is such a nice full circle moment. I think this is a really good film, but I just don't think it reaches the heights of The Lost World, so I'm going to put it in the B tier. Next, we are moving on to the Jurassic World films, which of course we have the first one. Now, controversially, I know most people all say the Jurassic Park films are the best films and the Jurassic World films are not as good. I have to disagree. I honestly think, from today's standards, the Jurassic World films are just as good, if not even better. I know nostalgia makes everyone want to think the Jurassic Park films are amazing, and they are, but I think the Jurassic World films are just as good, if not better. And this original Jurassic World film is a really interesting take on the build-ups and the foundations that we had from the Jurassic Park films to create a new park being Jurassic World and have it more set in modern day technology is really, really interesting. I love Claire's nephews running around the park, getting stuck in the balls and trying to run off. I love the stakes, and I love the evolution of what these dinosaurs originally were. Let's not just create dinosaurs, let's create mutant versions of these dinosaurs like the Andromedus Rex, which is a brilliant villain. And I love the dynamic between Owen and Claire. It's so funny seeing Claire run around when we see her in the future films compared to in this film where she's running around this island in her lab coat and high heels and is absolutely terrified. The stakes are really, really high, and it has long-lasting implications. I also think that final fight at the end where Bluey comes to save the day is absolutely amazing. I love it. And so for that reason, I'm going to put it in the A tier. Next, we've got Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I absolutely love this film. Dare I say S tier. I know some people don't like it, and I get why, but I also think for stakes-wise, this is a perfect sequel, because every sequel has to build on what's already came before, and this does it so perfectly. The destruction of the original island with a sort of natural disaster, linking back to how the dinosaurs went away in the first place, and seeing how the world comes together to try and save the dinosaurs, but doing what humanity would do, which is, let's not save them for the dinosaurs' sake, let's save them for our own personal sake in order to make money off it. I think the idea of auctioning dinosaurs is hilarious. The actual events that happen on the island when the island is being destroyed and they have to try and rescue these dinosaurs is so intense, because obviously most of the dinosaurs still want to kill the humans, so I absolutely... And the bit at the castle at the end is so intense, especially with Maisie and Owen trying to run away from this brand new dinosaur that's been mutated and created. And what I love is that they didn't hide away from something that we've all wanted since the beginning of this franchise, a world where we see dinosaurs having to live alongside humans, and at the end that decision made by Claire whether she should press the button or not is so intense, and the fact that she doesn't press it but then Maisie presses it instead, and we get to find out more as to the reasons as to why Maisie pressed it in the next film. And seeing the world completely be taken over by dinosaurs is something so incredible. I'm glad they didn't hide away from it, and it's a great next step for how to grow the franchise further. Next, we've got Jurassic World Dominion. Now, this is an interesting one because I know lots of people didn't like it, but I'm a sucker for when franchises do something like this, where they bring together characters from different spin-off films to then come together and meet. I love it in the MCU when they do it. I love it in the X-Men. This reminded me very much of Days of Future Past, where we have the past X-Men meeting the future versions of themselves and them coming together. And this does it so well as well. I think it does it in a really organic and natural way. It reintroduces Malcolm and Ellie and Grant really organically, that doesn't feel forced, and also has enough stakes for people like Owen and Claire, and their journey makes so much sense. This has so much action in it that I absolutely love. The scene where Owen is riding off with the motorbike where the dinosaurs are trying to chase him is so intense. There are some incredible moments with Claire in the jungle when she's trying to hide from the dinosaurs, and there's some great stakes in and tension and great world building that happens. I think the idea of these locusts taking over is something that I could imagine happening in a world where dinosaurs are genetically mutated and it all comes back to money. And I think seeing the team up come together is so perfect. perfect, and then being sort of bonded by their mutual love for Maisie is a lovely and interesting concept. And I think the actor who plays Maisie is really, really good and really, really strong in the part. I absolutely love this film. I don't care what anyone else says. I think it's an S tier. And I thought it was a really great way to end the Jurassic World trilogy. And finally, we've got our latest film that I've just seen fresh out of the cinema, Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, this one had a hard thing to do. I think it might be the start of a new trilogy, but it also did feel very much self-contained, which I really, really liked about it. Now, the problem is, as you can see from this list, these in the S tier are sequels, and the originals, I mean, the first Jurassic Park I've got all the way down in C tier, and Jurassic World only made it up to A tier. I think this one, unfortunately, suffers from the same being it's the first of what could be future films. It doesn't have huge amount of stakes in. I felt like a lot of the stakes were lost. It is visually stunning and the most beautiful film that this franchise has made, and I think some of the characters in it are really, really interesting. But the problem that I had with it was it felt too easy. It almost felt like they got all of the blood from all of these creatures a bit too easily, and the escape at the end was intense, but still felt a bit too easy. I thought the idea of going to an island where lots of mutated and genetically modified dinosaurs are is a brilliant concept, and I really, really liked it. I think what really let this film down, though, was the fact that I wanted to spend more time with our main cast. I wanted to spend more time with the Doctor and with Scarlett Johansson's character and all of them, but instead, every other half of the film was spent with this other family who, unfortunately, just were not that interesting. You had this vibe with the dad and the boyfriend not liking each other, and I just didn't really believe any of it. It felt very lackluster. It didn't feel like we should care about this family that much, apart from the fact that they're on this island. And it really annoyed me that we kept on going back to them because it wasn't the part that I was interested in, and they spent a lot of time with this family. So I think that's where it let this film down. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in the B tier. So that is my list for the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me or not? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And did you enjoy Jurassic World Rebirth? Let me know what you think down below. And as always, we've been here on Gate of Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.